Stephen Fennick from Tech Guide here, and we've got to talk. We need to talk about this. The Mate Xs. This is the folding smartphone from Huawei that's just been released in Australia. The first version of the Mate X was actually released in 2019. It was unveiled at Mobile World Congress in Barcelona, just a few days after Samsung had unveiled its Galaxy Fold. The Huawei Mate X never made it to market anywhere in the world in 2019, but here in 2020 they've updated the device to the XS, so slight improvements, and now it's only become available in Australia. And brace yourself for the price. It's $3,999. So not everyone's cup of tea, but it is both a phone and a tablet. So you've got your 6.6 inch screen on the front, and which looks and operates like a normal device. There's a 6.3 screen on the back, which is useful, but mainly comes into play for some camera features that we'll talk about a little bit later. But it's mainly the front screen that is your daily driver. But when you want to then expand that into a tablet experience, you've now got an 8-inch display for you to enjoy your videos, your content, multitasking. That's the idea behind the Huawei Mate XS. Is it's a 2-in-1. It's a phone, it's a tablet that can help you whether you want to be productive, whether you want to be entertained, or use it as your normal smartphone. The design of the phone is really interesting because basically the whole phone, the exterior of the phone, is the display. So when you open it out, it's that screen that takes up the whole 8-inch size, and once you fold it down again, it then shrinks back to that normal size screen. So the exterior of the phone is the screen, which makes it difficult to put a case on it, but I'll talk more about conditions and other issues later. But it's a very simple design, different to what Samsung did with the Galaxy Fold. Samsung's goal was to give you similar thing, a 2-in-1, a phone and a tablet in one. But what Samsung decided to do was to put a smaller screen on the front and then allow users to open it up like a book and then have their screen inside, which means that the screen inside was totally separate to the exterior screen. In this case, you're seeing the front screen, but it is actually part of the greater screen when you open it up. So that the hinge, the whole side of the phone here and the back is all the same screen. So when I open it up, you're getting this 8-inch experience. Let's take a closer look at the display. As I said, it goes from front to back. It is basically the outside of the phone. Now if you look closely, there is a screen protector, so another layer on top of the screen that adds just another layer of protection. You've got to remember, this isn't glass, this is made of polymer, so it does need a little bit of extra protection. And Huawei, out of the box, ask you, do not remove that top layer. It's a protective layer. Unlike what happened when the Galaxy Fold got in the hands of influencers and early reviewers last year, when it was sent out just pre-release. They sent it to some influencers and early reviewers, and they saw that layer and proceeded to peel it off and end up breaking the phone. So that was lesson learnt there. I think what Samsung did was put that screen, that extra layer, right to the edge of the screen, so you can't quite see the edge of it. Here you can actually see the edge of it. There's some lines at the top of the screen that are pretty obvious. Now that's there obviously to provide extra protection for the screen. Now, full disclosure here, this isn't the first Mate XS that I used. The first unit that I was sent actually developed an issue after about 5 or 6 days. And what that issue was a line running across not only the top of the front screen, but also along the back. And even when I opened up the screen, it ran the full length of the display. They told me to restart it, to turn it off and on, and nothing would get rid of it. I suspect that maybe a little bit of debris might have got in there. And this was only after less than a week of use. So it was something that if I had paid $4,000 for the phone, I wouldn't be happy about it. But it's Huawei said, look, let's take it back. We'll have a look at it. But the second unit, this is the second unit, haven't had any issues. I think what needs to be considered here is how fragile the phone can be. I took extra care to use the phone in a responsible way. I was always putting it down gently, using it, mindful of the fact that I was dealing with quite a large screen here. So I really had to take care. Now, after a week, I noticed there were some marks appearing on the screen, some scratches, especially around the hinge here. So when I was placing it on tables, and so there were some marks and scratches appearing around this hinge area. And that was something that was only taking place after a week or so. Imagine after months and months of use. I'm a little concerned about how this would look. There's no case you can put on this because it has to open and close. What Huawei does provide is a frame protector, so it goes along the edge of the screen just to, I think, protect the edges, maybe perhaps that debris getting into the phone. But in terms of the screen protection, there's not a case you can put on it. There's nothing you can really do. Like if I was to drop the phone and something landed here, then that could cause a fair amount of damage. The phone is plastic, it's not glass, so while it's not going to shatter, there is concern that perhaps it could cause scratches or damage the screen. But really something to keep in mind is you really have to take care when using the Mate Xs. A key part, obviously, of the design of the Mate Xs is the hinge. That's what does all the heavy lifting here, what provides the ability to go from being a phone to a tablet. So the hinge is what keeps all the layers straight, makes sure that it all unfolds precisely. It does fold fairly flat, very, very flat as a matter of fact. You can hardly even feel the join. It is there when you rub your finger along it, but it's not too prominent at all. There is also the camera system down the right here, and that is sort of set up so that you can actually use that part of the phone as a grip. So it does give a comfortable grip whenever you're looking at your content or just using the phone as you normally would. It does help you use it from day to day. But generally, I think the design is quite clever. When it's open, it's only 5.4 millimeters thick, so it is impressive there. It does have that hinge that helps it fold down. What unhooks the screen is this little button here. Once you press that button, you see the screen pop out, and allows you then to go to fold it out to its full width and enjoy that 8-inch display. And then when you're done, fold it down to the normal size and use it as a normal smartphone. Now, the whole idea of the Mate Xs is to give you that 2-in-1 device where it's a phone and it also provides a great viewing experience when you want to view videos, your photos, Netflix, the content you want to enjoy on the go. Even browsing websites, it gives you a much more enhanced experience. So take a look at the Tech Guide website here, and when you open up the screen, it pops out to full size and allows you then to view the website a little bit more comfortably. It allows you to read your stories and view your content on a much wider scale. So really ideal if you are wanting to view videos, YouTube, whatever you want to see, you can view it on in a much larger size. But the other key feature of having that added space is for productivity. You can be multitasking. You can open up 3 apps at the same time. So you can have you can have mail open, you can have maybe a social media stream, maybe a Twitter feed, you can have a third app, you might have a calculator there, you might be doing some calculations or something, email, you can vary it up, but up to 3 apps at the same time can be open on the screen. And it's also handy to, even if you want to just have one app, what I really liked about it was if I had to write something, if I had to type something, reply to an email, I would open up my email and actually rest the phone on a surface like this, and the keyboard would go the full width of the screen. So I could then type on a much wider keyboard, much better than I could on a normal smartphone or on that front screen. this allowed me to even use 2-finger typing just to be a little bit more productive. So another benefit of having this larger screen, it's not just for watching movies, but it also if you want to be productive, if you want to be multitasking and just get more done in your day. For a phone that costs nearly $4,000, you'd expect a great camera system, and that's exactly what you get. Huawei has once again partnered with Leica for their camera system. It's got a 40 megapixel, 16 and 8 megapixel lenses on board that combine to take some amazing images, some great videos as well. The advantage of having, though, a larger screen that you can open up, so if you are wanting to frame up your photos, you can actually do it on a much wider scale. So the whole phone becomes your viewfinder to frame up your subject and take a great photo. But if you're taking a photo of someone else, this is a great feature of the front screen here. So if I were to say I'm taking a photo of you, I can turn the exterior screen on. So now you can suddenly see yourself and get ready for your photograph. So if you want to, you can pose, do whatever you need to do to see that how you look and how you're framed in the photo. Great if you're taking photos of kids as well. I think you can maybe put a smiley face on there or get them to look at themselves. They can see themselves and take the photo as well. But a handy feature to take those photos, great for taking selfies as well. But overall, the camera system, very impressive. Take some great photos. As you can see now, these were all shot with the Mate Xs. Great quality images, great quality videos, and of course, what you'd expect from a phone of this price. On the battery side, the Huawei Mate Xs really delivers. It's got a 4,500 milliamp hour battery, which means you're going to get great battery life. When I was using it, I got nearly 2 days of battery use out of it. The battery is actually split into 2 halves. So beneath the screen, on each half of the folding display, that's where the battery has been set out. So it's using a much wider area of the phone to fit in that larger capacity battery. And as I said, really lasted easily the whole day into the next. So 2 days you can safely say you can get from the Mate Xs, and charges up really quickly as well. The charging port is actually at the end of the camera grip here. So there's a USB-C port in there. What you don't get though, even though you got the USB-C port, you don't get a headphone jack. So no plugging in sets of headphones to this phone. You need to use Bluetooth. The Huawei Mate Xs, despite it being a spectacular phone, it is brilliant, really well engineered, really works well, but it does have its challenges. And one of those is not having Google Play services, not having Google apps on board. So you haven't got the Google Play Store, you don't have Google Maps, you don't even have native YouTube app either. And that presents obviously a big challenge for customers. But there is a way around that. If you do want to go to the trouble, there is a way to get all the apps you need. I did it. I got all the apps that I wanted on the phone, and well, most of the apps anyway. And the way to do that is through an app called Phone Clone. You know, whenever you get a new phone and you want to transfer all your content, all your apps and all your settings from one device to the other, the Huawei version of that is called Phone Clone, and it works really well. It works well too, to the point where apps that you have running on your other Android phone or your iPhone are copied onto the Mate Xs and can run like normal. Now, what the Mate Xs offers, they don't have a Play Store, they don't have an App Store, they've got their own app gallery. Now, Huawei's app gallery is no fly-by-night system here. There's more than 500 million users of the app gallery, and most of the apps, a lot of the apps are available through the app gallery, but in some cases they're not. And the only way to get them onto the Mate Xs is to use the Phone Clone feature. Now, a couple of examples I can give you where I used Phone Clone to get those apps from a Samsung phone I was using to the Huawei Mate Xs. 2 examples. Number one is the Tesla app. I drive a Tesla and I want the app on my phone to be able to see the charge level and do all the things I need to do with my car. It was successfully transferred to the Mate Xs and worked 95% of the time because there were no location services through the Google, not having Google Maps, so it did work mostly. The other app that I got across was Apple Music, and that was there as a result of Phone Clone, but the app didn't really work properly. When I was trying to listen to playlists, it would skip through all the songs and wouldn't stay on one song. So I don't know, that was just if it was just an issue for me or because the cloning didn't work properly, but it is something to keep in mind. That is one of the challenges where if you are willing to spend the money, that's another challenge, it's $3,999. If you are willing to spend the money and go to the trouble of doing all of this, cloning these apps, finding them and installing them, then you can do that. The other thing you can do is go to the browser view of a lot of apps, like YouTube, for example. You can browse to that. So there's nothing stopping you using the browser to go to the YouTube site, but there is a way you can also set that site as an app shortcut on the screen as well. So rather than you having to go to the browser and go to that address, you can make it a shortcut on your screen. So it's as good as having the app. There are a few other apps that you can do like and use like that as well. The other thing you need to do also, there's ways around getting certain apps like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can download the APK, which is the data packet that installs the app on your phone. It is possible to do that through the browser as well. So you can get all those apps, whether it's phone clone, setting a browser as the shortcut, as an app shortcut, or just finding the APK on a browser and installing them. They're the ways you can get around those challenges of the Mate XS. The timing of the release of the Huawei Mate Xs really couldn't be worse. We're right in the middle of the coronavirus crisis and there are people out of work, businesses closing down, the economy's on its knees. Not the ideal time to charge $3,999 for a smartphone, but that was how Huawei timed it, and I think if you can afford $4,000 for a phone like this, you're probably not affected by what's going on around us. But it's not the best environment, not the best time to be releasing a phone of this kind. And don't get me wrong, I love this phone. It is remarkable, really impressive. Anyone I showed it to was absolutely amazed that it could be a phone and then a tablet. The engineering is nothing short of brilliant. But whether a lot of units are sold here in Australia is yet to be seen. But as far as it being a good smartphone and a good tablet in one, then the Mate XS really delivers on that.